It's very good news. Jill Duggar revealed her sixth baby Derick. Anger, very crying Jill LTC. Hello friends, I am Elena. Welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Jill Duggar has revealed that she is expecting her sixth baby, and while this should be a moment of pure joy, emotions are running high. Fans were quick to congratulate her, but the story doesn't end with just happiness and smiles. Behind the scenes, there's a storm brewing, with Derick, Jill's husband, reportedly experiencing a roller coaster of emotions, from surprise to frustration and yes, even anger. Meanwhile, Jill herself has been brought to tears, overwhelmed by the outpouring of love, the intensity of family dynamics, and the emotional weight of it all. Jill Duggar, known to the world through her appearances on 19 Kids and Counting and later Counting On, has long been a favorite among fans for her openness, her willingness to speak her mind, and her journey toward independence from the larger Duggar family system. Over the years, Jill and Derick have built a life of their own, one that sometimes clashes with the expectations and traditions of the Duggar parents, Jim, Bob, and Michelle. Now, with the announcement of baby number 6, fans are thrilled, but family insiders suggest that the news has stirred up plenty of drama as well. For many followers, this pregnancy marks a turning point in Jill's life. After stepping away from the spotlight of reality television and forging her own path, Jill has often been candid about her struggles with family relationships, personal boundaries, and even past differences with her parents and siblings. But through it all, she has remained a devoted mother, someone who clearly adores her children and takes pride in her role as a parent. With the arrival of a sixth baby on the horizon, many see this as a new chapter, one filled with both challenges and blessings. However, sources close to the family reveal that Derick wasn't exactly prepared for this news. While he has always been a supportive husband and a loving father, the idea of adding a sixth child to the family reportedly left him feeling overwhelmed at first. Parenting 5 kids already comes with sleepless nights, endless responsibilities, and financial pressures, and the thought of another baby initially sparked some tension. One insider explained that Derick has always been practical, someone who thinks about the long-term implications of every decision. He loves his family deeply, but the surprise pregnancy led to some raw emotions. He wasn't angry at Jill personally, but rather at the situation, the timing, the uncertainty, and the fear of not being able to balance everything perfectly. Fans who have followed Derick over the years know that he has faced his own share of stress, from career shifts to public controversies, and this new development added yet another layer to an already complex life. Meanwhile, Jill herself has been experiencing a whirlwind of feelings. On one hand, she is thrilled about the new baby. Motherhood has always been central to her identity, and she has often shared sweet moments with her children on social media. But on the other hand, she has been moved to tears, not only because of her husband's initial reaction but also because of the intense emotions that come with pregnancy, public scrutiny, and family history. Longtime fans remember how the Duggar family was once portrayed as a picture-perfect household, where children arrived in quick succession and big announcements were always met with nothing but joy. But Jill's journey has been different. She has been open about setting boundaries with her parents, about breaking away from certain traditions, and about carving out a life that reflects her and Derick's personal values. So, when news of baby number 6 hit the public, it reignited conversations about the family's complicated relationships and the ways in which Jill's choices continue to set her apart. Social media quickly exploded with reactions. Supporters flooded Jill's Instagram with congratulations, prayers, and messages of encouragement. Many praised her for embracing motherhood on her own terms and for staying true to herself despite family tensions. Others, however, speculated about Derick's reported frustration, with some wondering whether the couple was truly prepared for yet another child. Family insiders insist that Derick's initial reaction has softened over time. After the shock wore off, he reportedly came around to the idea and began focusing on the excitement of welcoming a new baby. Those close to him say that he simply needed time to process the news, especially given the couple's busy life and existing responsibilities. Now, he is said to be fully supportive, working alongside Jill to prepare for the baby's arrival and to make sure the entire family is ready for the changes ahead. Still, the emotional roller coaster has left Jill feeling vulnerable at times. Friends say that she has cried tears of both joy and stress over the past few weeks. Pregnancy hormones, combined with the weight of public attention and family expectations, have made this period especially intense for her. Yet through it all, she remains focused on the positives, the miracle of new life, the love she shares with her children, and the fresh start this baby represents for her family. Interestingly, this announcement also comes at a time when the Duggar family as a whole has faced increased public scrutiny. From past scandals to ongoing debates about the family's beliefs and lifestyle, the Duggars have been under the microscope for years. Jill, having distanced herself from certain aspects of her upbringing, continues to draw both admiration and criticism for her choices. Some fans see her sixth pregnancy as a reaffirmation of her roots. After all, the Duggars are famous for big families, while others view it as simply Jill living life on her own terms, independent of anyone else's expectations. As the due date approaches, one thing is certain: this baby will be welcomed with love. Despite the initial drama, Jill and Derick remain committed to each other and to their growing family. They have weathered public controversies, family feuds, and personal challenges before, and those close to them believe this new chapter will ultimately bring them closer together. For fans, the news of Jill's sixth baby is a reminder of why they have followed her story for so long. She is real, she is relatable, and she doesn't shy away from sharing both the joys and the struggles of her life. Whether she's laughing with her kids, standing up for herself, or shedding tears in a vulnerable moment, Jill continues to connect with people on a deeply personal level. As for Derick, friends say he has now fully embraced the excitement of becoming a father again. The initial anger and stress have reportedly given way to anticipation and even pride. He and Jill are said to be working together as a team, preparing their home, their hearts, and their family for the new arrival. In the end, what began as a moment of shock has transformed into a celebration of life, love, and resilience. Jill Duggar's sixth baby represents more than just another addition to the family. It symbolizes growth, change, and the unbreakable bond between a husband, a wife, and their children. The Duggar family has always been known for their strong faith, close bond, and unwavering support for one another during life's toughest moments. Now that sense of family unity is shining brighter than ever, as members of the Duggar family come forward to share heartfelt words of love and encouragement for Erin Payne amid her ongoing health battle. Erin, best known for her role on the hit reality show that followed the lives of the Bates and Duggar families, has been open about her struggles in recent months. As she faces one of the most challenging seasons of her life, her extended family is making sure she knows she's not fighting alone. For those who may not be familiar, Erin Payne is the sister-in-law of the Duggar family through her marriage into the Bates family, a family often described as close friends and extended relatives to the Duggars. Two families have shared years of friendship, faith-based gatherings, and life milestones. Over the years, Erin has become a beloved figure to many Duggar family members, who admire her faith, kindness, and devotion to her family. When news of Erin's health struggles began to surface, fans and family members alike were quick to rally around her. The Duggar family, in particular, has been outspoken in sharing words of love, encouragement, and prayer for Erin as she undergoes treatment and focuses on her recovery. Jill Duggar Dillard, known for her compassionate heart, was one of the first to share a message of support. Jill took to social media, writing directly to Erin, letting her know that she was lifting her up in prayer every single day. Jill expressed how much Erin's faith had inspired her over the years and reminded her that even in the darkest valleys, God's light shines the brightest. Jill's words reflected the kind of sisterly bond that has long connected the Duggar and Bates families, a bond rooted in faith, family values, and unconditional love. Jessa Duggar Seawald also shared her thoughts, expressing admiration for Erin's strength and perseverance. Jessa wrote that she had always looked up to Erin for her grace and positivity, even when life seemed overwhelming. She encouraged Erin to lean on the Lord and reminded her that she had an entire community of family, friends, and fans cheering her on. Jessa's heartfelt message resonated with many who have followed the families for years, as it showcased the deep respect the Duggars have for Erin. Joanna Duggar Forsyth added her own words of encouragement, reflecting on how Erin had been there for her during some of her own personal challenges. Joanna said that Erin had always been someone she could call for advice or prayer, and now it was time for the family to return that same love and support tenfold. Her message was filled with hope, faith, and the promise that brighter days were ahead for Erin and her family. The Duggar brothers also chimed in, sharing their prayers and well wishes. John David Duggar, known for being a man of few words, wrote a simple yet powerful message. "We are standing with you, Erin. We believe in healing and we are praying every day." His wife, Abby, echoed those sentiments, adding that Erin's story of faith and courage would inspire countless others who might be walking through similar trials. Duggar Vualo, who lives far from the rest of the family in California, took to Instagram to post a beautiful Bible verse dedicated to Erin. Duggar wrote about the importance of faith during times of uncertainty and assured Erin that distance didn't matter when it came to prayer. Her message was a reminder that even miles apart, the family's hearts were united in love and faith for Erin's recovery. Family matriarch Michelle Duggar also spoke out, sharing a heartfelt message filled with motherly love. Michelle praised Erin for her unwavering faith and the way she continued to be a light to others even while walking through her own struggles. She reminded Erin that God's plan is perfect, even when it doesn't make sense in the moment, and encouraged her to keep trusting in His timing. Michelle's words carried the warmth and wisdom that only a mother's heart could bring, offering Erin both comfort and strength. Jim Bob Duggar added his own message of support, emphasizing how much the family believed in the power of prayer. He spoke about how the entire Duggar clan was coming together every evening to lift Erin's name before the Lord, asking for complete healing and peace for her and her loved ones. His words reflected the strong spiritual foundation that has always been at the core of the Duggar family's values. Cousins and extended family members also joined in, filling social media with messages of encouragement. Amy Duggar King, often known as the rebel cousin for living a more private life away from the spotlight, surprised fans by sharing a heartfelt note for Erin. Amy expressed how much she admired Erin's bravery and said that no matter what, family would always stand together in times like these. Her message added another layer of love and support, proving that when it comes to family, differences fade in the face of hardship. As the messages continued to pour in, it became clear that Erin's journey had touched countless lives. Fans who have followed the Duggar and Bates families for years began sharing their own prayers and words of encouragement online. Many commented on how inspiring it was to see such a large family come together with one heart and one purpose, to support Erin as she fights this battle. Erin herself responded with gratitude, expressing how overwhelmed she felt by the outpouring of love. She shared that every message, every prayer, and every word of encouragement meant the world to her and gave her strength to keep moving forward. Erin said that while the road ahead might be long, she felt comforted knowing she wasn't walking it alone. The Duggars' show of support for Erin Payne serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of family, faith, and community during life's hardest moments. Their words reflect not only their love for Erin but also their belief in the power of prayer and hope. As Erin continues her health journey, one thing is certain: she has an entire family and countless fans, lifting her up every step of the way. The Duggar family, known from the popular reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting and later Counting On, always promoted a conservative Christian lifestyle. One of the most recognizable aspects of this was their strict dress code, especially for women and girls. Long skirts, high necklines, covered shoulders, and modesty in every sense were non-negotiable rules in the Duggar household. Pants for women were strongly discouraged, and anything seen as worldly was completely off-limits. Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar raised their children to believe that dressing modestly was a reflection of their faith and values. For years, Anna followed this standard faithfully, especially after marrying Josh, the eldest Duggar son. Like Michelle, she dressed in long skirts and dresses, never wearing pants or shorts, and she raised her children the same way. The Duggar daughters often spoke publicly about how their dress code was not just a rule but a conviction, something they believed was necessary to honor God. But after Josh Duggar's shocking scandals and eventual conviction on serious charges, the Duggar family's reputation took a massive hit. Many of the adult Duggar children began to re-examine the strict teachings they grew up with, including the rules about dress, music, and courtship. Duggar Vualo, for instance, was one of the first to openly abandon the strict dress code, choosing to wear pants and modern clothing while explaining in interviews and her memoir that she no longer believed modesty had to look the way her parents taught. Now, Anna Duggar seems to be following a similar path. Sources close to the family say that after Josh's conviction, Anna has had to rethink many aspects of her life and what kind of environment she wants for her children, especially her daughters. For years, Anna defended Josh and stood by him, even as the rest of the world criticized her for doing so. But privately, things have reportedly changed. Friends have noted that Anna, now raising her children largely on her own while Josh serves his sentence, has started questioning many of the old rules she once followed without hesitation. Among the most surprising changes is her decision to relax the dress code for her daughters. People who have seen the family in recent months have been stunned to notice Anna's daughters wearing clothing that the Duggar family would never have allowed before. Shorts, pants, and even swimsuits have reportedly made appearances, a clear sign that Anna is no longer enforcing the strict modesty standards that Jim, Bob, and Michelle insisted upon for decades. This shift has sparked major discussion among Duggar fans and critics alike. Some believe Anna is finally stepping out of the shadow of the Duggar family's control and making her own decisions as a mother. Others think it reflects a bigger trend among the Duggar kids and spouses, many of whom have distanced themselves from the rigid rules they were raised with. Anna herself has not spoken publicly about the change, but those close to her say it is directly connected to everything that has happened since Josh's conviction. For years, Anna tried to hold her family together, homeschooling the children, keeping up appearances, and following the Duggar way of life. But after Josh's crimes came to light, that world crumbled, leaving Anna to figure out what was truly best for her children without the pressure of Duggar family expectations. One source explained that Anna wants her daughters to have a normal life. She reportedly no longer believes that wearing pants or modern clothing has anything to do with faith or morality. Through seeing how the strict environment failed to prevent serious problems within the Duggar family, Anna seems determined to break away from the old patterns. Some Duggar family followers have pointed out that this is a huge deal because Anna was once one of the most loyal supporters of Jim, Bob, and Michelle's teachings. Even when Duggar and Jill Duggar began speaking out about their childhood and changing the way they dressed, Anna stayed quiet and continued to follow the traditional rules. The fact that she is now tossing out the dress code for her own daughters shows just how much things have changed since Josh's conviction. Of course, not everyone approves. Some Duggar family supporters believe modesty is still essential and feel disappointed that Anna is moving away from the values the family once stood for. Online forums have lit up with debates about whether Anna is doing the right thing or simply reacting to the trauma of Josh's crimes. But others are praising Anna for giving her daughters freedom that many Duggar kids never had. Growing up under constant scrutiny and rigid expectations has taken a toll on several of the Duggar children, with some of them openly discussing how difficult it was to express themselves or make choices outside of what their parents wanted. By letting her daughters wear what they want, Anna might be trying to break that cycle. This decision also raises questions about what else Anna might change moving forward. Will she send her kids to traditional schools instead of homeschooling them? Will she allow them to date normally instead of following the Duggar courtship rules? No one knows for sure, but it's clear that Anna is no longer living by the old Duggar playbook. Some close family friends have shared that Anna's main focus now is protecting and supporting her children in the aftermath of Josh's actions. She reportedly wants them to grow up in a healthier environment, one not defined by shame or extreme rules. Allowing her daughters to choose their clothing may seem like a small thing, but for the Duggar family, it's a dramatic break from decades of tradition. Observers have also noted that Anna herself has been seen in clothing that would have once been considered immodest by Duggar standards. While she still dresses conservatively compared to mainstream fashion, she no longer seems committed to the floor-length skirts and high collars that were once mandatory. All of this reflects a larger shift happening around the Duggar family. Many of the older kids are now adults with their own families, and they are openly choosing different paths from the one Jim, Bob, and Michelle set for them. Jill Duggar Dillard, for example, has spoken about therapy, boundaries, and breaking free from the control she experienced growing up. Duggar Vualo has shared about rethinking faith and personal convictions. Now, Anna Duggar is making headlines for letting go of the dress code that once defined the family's public image. Whether this change will lead to more independence for Anna and her children remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, tossing out the Duggar dress code for her daughters marks a turning point for Anna Duggar. After years of living under strict rules and public scrutiny, she appears ready to raise her kids on her own terms, even if it means leaving behind one of the most recognizable Duggar traditions. Despite building her own life with husband Austin Forsyth and their children, has been sharing glimpses of her personal life on social media for a while. However, the younger Duggar kids are rarely in the spotlight these days, especially since the family has been living a much more private life following all the controversies and media attention in recent years. That's why fans were surprised and thrilled when Joanna posted the video. It immediately felt like a throwback to the days when the Duggars shared everything about their large family on television and social media. The video featured 3 of her younger sisters, who have grown up so much since fans last saw them regularly on camera. Over the years, viewers have watched the older Duggar kids get married, start families, and branch out on their own. Meanwhile, the younger ones have stayed mostly out of the public eye, leaving many fans curious about how they are doing and what their lives look like now. So, when Joanna uploaded this clip, people were quick to comment on how much the girls have grown and how different things look compared to the earlier days of the family's reality show. But there was one thing that everyone seemed to focus on immediately. Comment section quickly filled up with fans pointing out the same detail. Some were surprised, others were delighted, and a few were even a bit shocked. What was this detail? It had to do with how the younger Duggar sisters were dressed. For years, the Duggar family was known for its extremely conservative dress code. The girls wore long skirts or dresses, and pants were generally not allowed because of the family's strict religious beliefs. Their mother, Michelle Duggar, often spoke about the importance of modesty, saying it was a key part of their faith and lifestyle. Viewers of the show 19 Kids and Counting and later Counting On became very familiar with this modest dress code, and it became one of the most recognizable aspects of the family's image. However, in this new video shared by Joanna, fans quickly noticed that the younger girls were dressed in a way that was much less strict than what people had come to expect from the Duggar family. In fact, some of the girls were wearing pants, casual tops, and overall outfits that looked very different from the signature long skirts and dresses of the past. This might not seem like a big deal to most people, but for longtime followers of the Duggars, it felt like a major shift. The family's strict rules about clothing had always been a topic of discussion, and many of the older Duggar daughters, like Jinger and Jill, have slowly moved away from the dress code after getting married. Still, people were surprised to see the younger sisters following the same path because Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar were once very firm about those rules being an important part of raising their children. Fans flooded the comments with reactions. Some people were happy to see the younger girls having more freedom to choose what they wear, saying it was nice to see them expressing their individuality. Others felt emotional because it showed just how much things have changed for the Duggar family over the years. There were also fans who pointed out that it might signal a new chapter for the younger Duggar children, one where they have more independence compared to their older siblings when they were the same age. Several viewers also commented on how grown-up the younger sisters looked in the video. For people who had watched them as little kids on TV, it was a bit of a shock to see how much they had changed. Some fans even said they barely recognized them at first because they were so used to seeing them as toddlers or young children on the reality show. Another interesting part of the conversation was about how Joanna herself has changed over the years. Many people remember her as one of the middle Duggar kids who helped take care of her younger siblings. Now, she is a mom herself and still seems very close to her sisters. Fans said it was sweet to see her spending time with them and sharing that moment with the world. Of course, there were also discussions about the family's faith and rules. Some fans speculated that Jim Bob and Michelle might be relaxing some of their older, stricter guidelines as time goes on, especially since several of their married daughters have chosen to live differently than they were raised. Others wondered if the changes were simply a natural part of the younger generation growing up in a world that is very different from when the Duggar family first became famous. No matter what the reason is, the video sparked a lot of conversation about how much things have changed for the Duggars. The family that once represented very traditional, conservative values on national television now seems to be evolving in many ways. From clothing choices to lifestyle decisions, the younger Duggars appear to be following in the footsteps of their older siblings by making their own choices rather than sticking strictly to the rules they grew up with. At the same time, fans expressed appreciation for joy and nostalgia for longtime followers of the family. People remembered the earlier seasons of the Duggar shows when all the kids were younger, and the family was constantly in the spotlight. Seeing the next generation of Duggars growing up reminded fans of how much time has passed and how much has changed since those early days on TLC. Whether people were focused on the clothing choices, the family's evolving rules, or just the fact that the younger sisters are growing up so fast, one thing was clear: Joanna's video had everyone talking. It showed that even though the Duggars have stepped back from the public eye, interest in their lives has not disappeared. Fans still care deeply about the family and are always curious to see how each new chapter unfolds.